Hello, here is the video over part 1 of 11.4 installment buying, fixed installment loans. So first and foremost, what is a fixed installment loan? It is a loan where you pay a fixed amount of money over a set number of payments. So usually fixed loans are when you're financing something big like a car, a boat, appliances, furniture, student loans. We also have open-ended installment loans, and those are ones in which you make variable payments each month, and those are typically credit cards. But today we're looking at fixed installment loans, so the ones where it's a fixed amount of money for a certain amount of months. So here's our first example. Window blinds. So Kristen wishes to purchase new blinds for her house at a cost of $1,500. I'm going to go ahead and underline important pieces of information as I go. She paid a 15% down payment and finances the balance with a 24-month fixed installment loan with an APR of 6%. Now, what you see in blue are all of these different pieces of information that we want to find for this particular problem. I'm going to start by jotting down the cash price. The cash price is how much she would be paying for the blinds if she actually had the cash for it. So that would be $1,500. So $1,500. The down payment, so she puts a 15% down payment. In order to calculate your down payment, what you're going to do is you're going to take your cash price, so that $1,500, and I'm going to multiply it by 15%, but that percent needs to be a decimal, so 0.15. So her down payment is $1,500 times 0.15, $225. Okay, so the cash price is $1,500. The down payment is $225. So that means the down payment is how much money she is putting up front. Since she can't pay for the entire purchase of the blinds, she's only going to pay for the down payment at this point and finance the rest. So the amount financed is going to be the cash price minus whatever down payment she is making. So in this case, it's $1,500 minus the $225. So the amount financed is $1,275. Okay. So from here, I'm actually going to skip the part of the installment price for a second, and I'm going to jump down to the finance charges. And the reason why I'm doing that is because your installment price is going to be, the installment price is going to incorporate the finance charges. So the finance charges is going to be added as part of your installment price. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to the finance charges first. Now, in order to calculate your finance charges, what we're going to do is we are going to use this table right here. This table is actually from your textbook. Please ignore these circled numbers. These circled numbers are from examples that were within the textbook. But we're going to use this table to figure out our finance charges. Now, an important piece of information that you need to know about this table is that it is the finance charge per $100 of amount financed. So the first thing I want to do is I want to actually figure out how many increments of $100 am I financing. So I'm going to take my amount financed, the $1,275. So $1,275, and I'm actually going to divide it by 100 first. And that's going to tell me how many increments of 100 we are financing. So I have $1,275 divided by 100 is 12.75. Okay, now I'm going to come back to that number in just a second. So the 12.75, I'm going to put it in my pocket and save it for later. So the other thing I'm going to look at is the fact that I have a 24-month fixed installment loan with an APR of 6%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my table. I'm going to look for my 24-month payment, that's this row right here, at my percent, my APR of 6%. And that's this row. And where they overlap, that is going to be the finance charge per $100 financed. So that is the $6.37. So again, I did the 24 months because that was the number of payments at 6%. So I'm trying to see where these two pieces overlap, and that was the $6.37. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the $6.37. It was 637, right? Yeah, 637. And I'm going to multiply it by that 1275. So that 12.75. And that is going to give me my finance charges. So 637 times 12.75 is about $81.22. So there is your finance charge. Now, your finance charge is going to be added to the amount financed, as well as what you're paying for your down payment. And that is going to be your installment price. So my installment price is going to be the amount financed. So that is the $1,275. Plus the down payment, plus whatever finance charges we have, the $81.22. So that gives me the $1,275 plus the $225 plus $81.22. So that means the total installment price is the $1,581.22. Now, another way to think about your total installment price is it is your cash price plus your amount of finance charges. Because that $1,275, these two pieces right here, the $1,275 plus the $225 actually equals the $1,500 that you had for the cash price. Okay, so the other pieces of information that I need to find is I need to find the APR as well as the monthly payment. The APR was actually listed within the problem. That was 6%. So I'm just going to list that out as 6%. Okay. The last thing I need to figure out is the monthly payment. So the monthly payment is going to be your installment price. So my installment price, which was the $1,581.22, minus the down payment, because you're putting that money up front for your particular purchase, divided by the number of months that this loan is taking place. So this loan is taking place over 24 months. So divided by 24, and then I'm just going to calculate that out. So I have 1581.22 minus 225 divided by 24. So that means for her blinds, Kristen is going to end up paying $56.51. Okay, so on this particular slide, what I want to do is I want to actually write down how we found all of those things. So the cash price is the amount you would pay if you had the cash. Okay, so the amount you'd pay if you had the cash. So if you didn't actually have to finance it. The down payment is going to be the cash price times your percent of the down payment, but as a decimal. The amount why can't I say that word? The amount financed is going to be the cash price minus the down payment. All right, and the installment price I save until after I've done the finance charges because the installment price includes the finance charges. So for the finance charges, what you're going to do is you're going to start by taking the amount financed and divide it by 100. Because we're going to use our table, which sets it up as increments of finance charges per $100. So once you have that, you're going to look at the table to actually find the amount that you're going to multiply. So you're going to look at that table. That is going to give you some sort of dollar amount. And then you are going to take that dollar amount times the number that you got for the amount financed divided by 100. So I'm going to go ahead and write that here. So that number that you got for the amount financed times the dollar amount that you got from the table. The installment price is going to be the amount financed plus the down payment plus the finance charges. And like I said, another way to think of installment price, that is going to be the cash price plus your finance charges. And the reason why that also works is because the amount financed and the down payment, those two together, create the cash price. Okay, monthly payments. Monthly payment is going to be the installment price. Can't spell. Installment price minus the down payment divided by the number of months. And then the APR for this particular problem was actually given to us. But for one of the other problems, we'll have to talk about how to find the APR if it's not given to us. Okay, so there's some little tidbits on how to find each of the individual pieces as opposed to just looking at the numbers. Okay, so let's do another example. There's our lovely table that we're going to keep referencing. Example number 2, buying a boat. So John is purchasing a boat for $25,000, including taxes. John decides to make a 20% down payment and finance the balance through his bank. The loan officer informs him that his monthly payment will be $410.33 for 60 months. So I'm going to underline the important pieces. He's purchasing a boat for $25,000. He has a 20% down payment. His monthly payment is $410.33 for 60 months. So I already have my monthly payment, so I'm going to go ahead and jot that down over here. So $410.33. The cash price is how much he would pay for the boat in cash, which is $25,000. And I can go ahead and calculate the down payment. So the down payment that he makes is going to be the $25,000 times the 20% down, but of course that needs to be a decimal, so 0.20. And let's go ahead and calculate that. So 25,000 times 20%, so 0.2 gives us $5,000. Okay, so the amount financed, I don't know why that word is so hard for me. The amount financed is going to be the $25,000 minus the $5,000 that he puts down, and that is going to be $20,000. And of course, to figure out the installment price, we will need to figure out the finance charges. Actually, you don't have to do that for this problem. So the installment price, since we already have the monthly payment, we're kind of working backwards. So for the installment price, what I'm going to do is I am going to take my number of monthly payments. So I have 60 monthly payments of $410.33. And that's how much I'm making, how much I am paying throughout those 60 months. But I also need to take into account the down payment that John put down for his boat to begin with. So it's the amount that you make in payments plus the down payment. And that's going to give you your total installment price. So my total installment price is going to be 60 times 410.33 plus 5,000. And that is $29,619.80. Okay, now to figure out the finance charges. So the finance charges are built into the installment price. So in order to figure out the finance charges, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my installment price, which was the $29,619.80, and I am going to subtract the cash price because the cash price is going to include the amount financed as well as the down payment. So I'm going to subtract the $2,000 or $25,000. And that is going to give me, so minus $25,000, $4,619.80 in finance charges. So again, when we're calculating these pieces for this particular problem, we are doing it differently just because of the information that was given to us. So for this particular problem, we were given the monthly payment as opposed to trying to find the monthly payment like we were for the previous problem. Okay, so now comes the fun part of figuring out the APR. So in order to figure out the APR, what you're going to do is you are going to take your finance charge. So my finance charge was the $4,619.80 divided by the amount financed. I actually said it right this time, $20,000. And I'm going to take that and multiply it by 100. So I'm going to go ahead and calculate that. So I have $4,619.80 divided by the amount financed, which is $20,000, times 100. And that gives us approximately $23.10. Now, what this $23.10 represents is it represents the amount of finance charge per increments of $100 financed. So it's kind of working backwards from what we had with the previous problem. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my table. So here's the table we're going to use. And this right here, so John's boat was financed for 60 months. So I'm going to look at the row that has 60 months. And what I'm looking for is I am looking for the amount that is closest to what we calculated right here. So it doesn't have to be exactly $23.10, which in this problem it does end up being exactly $23.10, but it has to be very, very close if it is not exactly a number that you see on the table. But I do see the $23.10, it is right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the column to help me figure out the APR, which in this case is 8.5%. So now for my APR, 8.5%. So there is your final answer for this particular scenario. Now, once again, what I want to do is I want to add how we found every single piece because it's a lot of numbers just floating around. So again, the cash price is the amount you'd pay in cash. The monthly payment was actually given to us in this particular problem. Monthly payment was given. The down payment is going to be the cash price. times the percent as a decimal. Amount financed, that still doesn't change like the previous problem. That is going to be the cash price minus the down payment. And then the installment price is the one that was a little tricky for this particular problem. The installment price is going to be the monthly payment times the number of months plus the down payment. Because the installment price is going to be the total of everything that you are spending. So it's your monthly payments as well as your down payment. And then from here, your finance charges, the finance charge is going to be the installment price minus the cash price. Okay, now to find the APR. So the APR is going to be the finance charge divided by the amount financed. And then I'm going to take that and multiply it by 100. That is going to give us the dollar amount of finance charge per $100. So say dollar finance charge per $100 financed. And then what you do from there is you look at the table. So I'm going to go back to this table. You look at this table and you're going to search for the APR based off of the number of payments you have as well as the number that you just calculated. So in this particular case, we are searching for this, we're looking at the row for the 60 months since that is how long his loan, he's making monthly payments for on that loan. So we're looking for the 60 months. And then we're also trying to find the closest number that the table has for that particular dollar amount that you calculated. And then that should tell you what the percent is. So then you're going to take your APR from the table. After searching for the row of the number of monthly payments and the column that you find with that particular dollar amount that you calculated. All right, guys, I know this was a lot of information to process, so if you are still confused, I highly recommend that you watch the video again, and then from here, you can work on your practice problems.